Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie, where we will be looking at the race meeting today on the Greyville Poly, 25th of April, where we have 9 races on the card. The first race off at 11:55. Now, what I want to do is I just want to explain to the people who are watching this video for the first time what Outside of Genie do. Outside of Genie does a form analysis on a race, and then we provide you with outsider selections that you can add into your play. We are not a tipping service. We don't tip you 1, 2, 3 or whatever. We tip you outright selection. That is the selections that we think can win the race. That can be at any price from a favorite to a 33 to 1, 50 to 1 shots. I have tipped 53 to 1, 50 and 50 to 1 winners, even as high as 66 to 1 quite a while ago. So you then take that outsider selections, add them to what you like, and if those outsider selections arrive, you will then get the bigger payment. I mean, the other day I tipped outsider selection as a value bet, and a value bet means you play each way. And that horse ran second, paying 10 Rand a place. And then next time out, he actually came and won yesterday at Turfontein, and I did tip it again as an outsider selection. And the horse's name was the McQuackers. It ran second last time out and paid 10 Rand a place. Or I think it was 12 Rand actually, but around there. And then yesterday, the McQuackers actually come to win after a very long time. We never won a race, and I just gave that again also as my outsider selection in that race. As a matter of fact, I tipped the exacta on that race, paying 63 Rand. So if you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button on the video and just ring the bell, and then you'll be notified every time that the daily free video is posted. You can also follow us on Outside of Genie at Twitter. I do post a video out on that. I'm not very active on Instagram yet, but I'm hoping to get that also sorted out today, because to load up a video on the Instagram is a bit of a slip. And you can also contact me on 083-585-5133. And then I want to introduce you to Dr. Genie. He's ready to help you with your punting problems. More of that just now. Then, the other day I got this compliment from one of my subscribers, and I copied his message as he typed it. And he said, "Thank you, sir, for the great tips. I will definitely be joining when my subscription ends at the end of the month. This is the best tipping service I have ever used." And when one received that, it really makes your heart warm, because I get up early in the morning, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, to do the selections, because I believe that when my brain is fresh, then I'm at my best. So, and then one is not always certain that what the effort you put in are appreciated, because when I give that selection, that is truly what I believe. I put in the time, sometimes 2.5, 3.5 hours per race. And if these 2 race meetings like yesterday, it even takes up to 4.5 hours to do this. And if I receive something like this, it really motivates me to get up early in the morning again and do my selections for the day. I've got a few special offers for you, and I've got one very big value offer for you. If you subscribe to Outside of Genie Form Analysis, this is what you get. Yeah, please note that next week on the 1st of May at Turferton and the 2nd of May at Greyville, both days on the 2nd of May at Greyville is the start of the champion season racing season, and there will be a major races on that day. And I have got a policy that these days, on the major race days, that the free preview video and selections are only available to subscribers, because when I do those videos on the major race days, I don't just touch on my like on my selections that I do a little bit more deeper, delve a little bit more deeper per race. So the video is a little bit longer takes more time and effort to produce. So what do I have for you? The first package is you can sign up now for this week from the 24th of April to the 2nd of May for 250 Rand. Then you can sign up for my normal package. You sign up now and get selections from now till end of May for 500 Rand. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I've got this best value package. I call it the champion season package. So you'll subscribe from now till end of the champion season, the 31st of July, for 900 Rand. The normal value of 1,500 Rand. With this package, you will receive all selections, including all the big races during Gold Circle Champion season, including Vodacom Durban July Jacksons, that will only be available to subscribers. Now, if you purchase this package, you will get a free consultation with Dr. Genie. Plus, you pay 500 Rand now and 400 Rand the end of May. And surely, I think, if of all the time, this is the best package that I've ever offered on this show or on this video or whatever you want to call it. So this is really best value. Make sure to make use of this package so that you don't lose out on some great selections. I'm sure last time, over the champion season last year and the year before, I had a really good value for you. So if you want to subscribe to Outside of Genie, what do you get? You get two Exacta, box Exacta. And guys, I must tell you that this Exactas of mine, I am so amazed how they win and how they paid out. On Friday at Fairview, I had 3 Exactas coming in. The one paying like 120 Rand, and the other one was 63, and the other one was 66. Yesterday wasn't that great, but we caught a few Exactas, especially the one in the last race at Turpentine. Again, that paid over 60 Rand. Now, that is great value for money, because if you take an Exacta box for 2 Rand, that means the odds would have been 50 to 1. We give you daily all-to-comes. They don't always win, but they sometimes do win, and sometimes at very good prices. Then we give you race-by-race selections, outright winner, and 2 possible outsider selections. The outsider selection is not in a particular order. Then we give you value bets that you can play each way. And as I just said in my earlier in this recording, that sometimes, I mean, our value bets, they pay well. I also remember a while ago, I gave you a horse called Theravada that paid 11 Rand 90 a place, ran second. So my best bets and my value bets are decent value. Then I give you trifectas and quartets. Yesterday, again, I gave a quartet for 24 Rand. It paid something like I think 600 Rand. So my trifectas and quartets, they also do come in. I give you affordable PAs. My PA is now between 48 and 96, but lately I give a PA for 64 Rand. You can add on to that, maybe use some of my numbers. And the same with the pick 6. Yes, one of my guys, one of my members the other day said, your pick 6 is always one leg out. I agree, but I give the pick 6 for you to build around that, because I try to keep the value low. I'm not going higher as 150 Rand. So sometimes I have to cut on certain legs. And believe you me, I don't know why, but it always seems that you cut out that one horse that wins the race. But if you can take my pick 6 and you build around that, and you add a little bit more money that you can afford, I'm thinking you're going to go close, because 90% of my pick 6s are 5 legs in. And so that is certainly something to look at. So when you subscribe, you will receive the selections like this. I will add you to my WhatsApp group, and then I'll send out this sheet of selections every day in a PDF form, so you can open it on your telephone, you can print it, or whatever you want to do with it. Here I give you my doubles, my all-to-come selections. Here's is my selections, the outright winner and 2 outright outside selections. I give you the Exacta, trifecta, quartet. I even give you the race time for you to make sure not to lose out and to keep bet in time. Then I give you value bets, the best bet of the day, my pick 6 and my PA. So let us quickly have a look at what Dr. Genie has to say. Now, Dr. Genie was born out of the fact that a lot of people have asked me, they're battling, what can they do? So I decided that I'm going to set up this thing called Dr. Genie, where if you are battling with your punting, then Dr. Genie is the person to see. Now, if you need advice from from a legal advice, you go to a lawyer. If you and need medical advice, you go to a doctor or a clinic. If you're losing on the horses on punting, you must see Dr. Genie. So what I do is I set up a Zoom meeting for you for 50 minutes, and then in that Zoom meeting, we can discuss anything that you like, your betting strategy, how to punt to win, how to use computer form, formulating your bets, how to find outsiders, learn more about handicapping, any other question you may have. Okay, so then I will spend 50 minutes for you with you, and the cost of that is 250 Rand. And then as a bonus, I will give you the following. You will receive 30 days free, but that now falls away because of you taking the value. If you take the value pack for 900 days, you are getting um, already a huge discount on my form analysis. But I will still give you the document punt to win, which is priceless. I'll give you the video, how to read computer form, 100 Rand, and how to use computer form to find outsiders. So be sure to contact me to book your appointment once you've taken that package. But if you only take the package for 50 minutes, you will still receive your 30 days free daily form analysis from Outsider Genie. All right, so I just want to clear that up. If you take the 900 package, this is included in that. You don't get an additional 30 days free because already that package is usually discounted. But if you just want to book a booking, then it's 250 Rand and you get the 30 days free from Outsider Genie. That will, in other words, that will be 30 days from the day of your booking. So let's move on to the racing. We'll be racing from Hollywood Grey Wheel on the poly track. First race off at 11:55. It's a 1400-meter maiden plate. Let's have a look at the betting here. The betting is as follows. The number 5, Water Rider, 8 to 10, 7 to 2, Never Ending Love, 8 to 1, Tenacious Time, 17 to 20, Giant's Castle, Quest for the Best, 12 to 1, 16 to 1, Rubondo, 28 to 1, Till Meave, and 30 to 1 and better. And with the biggest respect to the trainers and the owners of the horses of this maiden plate, this is definitely not the strongest maiden plate I've seen in my life. A lot of battlers in this race, unfortunately. So my selection is the number 5 horse, Water Rider, who's already had 9 runs for 1 second, 3 fourths, and 3 thirds and a fourth. And this is the combination Keegan de Milo and Dean Kannemeyer. And this horse ran on nicely behind Montana Sky a few days ago. And I'm thinking that this horse, based on that run, must have a huge chance. For outsider selections, we're going for number 5, for number 1, which is Giant's Castle. Only had 2 runs, but it just run really a better run after second run, and I'm sure in the 1400 will suit. It's coming off a small rest from December, so that might be a bit of a drawback, but I'm sure Nathan Cotson is an experienced trainer. That shouldn't be a problem. Then my other outsider selection is number 11, which is Icon Elect, Tony Riverland Stable, who is in form. It's an ideal world by Count de Boismet. The 1400 meters will definitely suit his horse. Unfortunately, drawn a little bit wide on 11, but I've seen sometimes on the poly that is not really a drawback because invariably they go to the outside rail. This horse has run some relatively decent races, 5 lengths, 7 lengths, 8 lengths. And I do think in this weak field today, that number 11, Icon Elect, certainly in with a chance. Then just want to have a look at number 7, Never Ending Love. Now, Tini Prinsloo, who is the trainer of this horse, and he's really found his feet in KwaZulu-Natal. He's picked up a few winners, and I really am glad for him. Now, you will have a line on Water Rider, because what a rider ran second to his horse called Montana Sky. Montana Sky also took a while to win a maiden, but eventually won his maiden. And Montana Sky is trained by Tini Prinsloo. But Never Ending Love has run a few places. But my only concern is that he hasn't run so well on the poly. He did manage to run 2/4. But again, in this weak field, he must surely have a chance. We then move on to race number 2, which is a maiden plate over 1600 meters, fillies and mares. And here we have this perennial place getter, number 1, Lady of Latia, 15-10, who always finds one to beat her. And I wonder on the day, who will be that lucky horse to beat her again today? And here's number 7, Global Appeal, 7-2, Emerald Isla, 9-2, Princess Donnelly, 11-2, 12-1, Bells and Whistles, Bellstar Bus, 15-1, Crystal Coves, 20-1, 22-1, Love the Flag, and longer. Now, for me, my first selection is that not the favorite, but number 7, Global Appeal. This horse is very well bred, and I think has run some decent races on the poly, as second to third and the fourth over this distance, and course and distance 2 runs, 1 second. So I'm thinking that Lyle Hudson might be the way to go here, that might be the lucky horse to be the number 1 horse. Again, my outsider selections is number 2, which is Princess Donnelly, jackpot by Captain Alme. And this horse is showing improvement. And I'm sure over the 1600 meters with Kamala on board from row 2, I think Princess Donnelly is definitely going to give a good account of herself. And my other outsider selection is number 11, Bells and Whistles, from the Doc Campbell stable, drawn 11, story on board, has run a few places, and always staying on, ran on well. And certainly that is a sign that this horse is getting fitter. So number 11, not to be left out. And then here we're going to have a look at number 1, Lady of Latia, on the poly, 1 run, 1 second, has only had 1 run on the poly, and has run out of 12 races, has won 9, ran 9 places. But as I said, always finding this 1 horse to beat it. Then we move on to race number 3. Race number 3 is a maiden plate over 1700 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is as follows. Number 5, Silver Stardust, 5-10. Predator, 9-2. Fist of Fire, 7-1. 14-1, Got It All. Purple Dominance, 14-1. Let's So Fly, 18-1. 30-1, and Better the Rest. Now, as I have said in previous podcasts, that, for me, I'm always wary of these false favorites that are being created by the bookmakers. Now, in this case, I do think that this is a false favorite. This horse hasn't run on the poly. It has changed stables. Yes, it is Justin Snape and Richard Fourie. And I'm sure there's no doubt that this horse has got the ability to win this race. But at 5-10, surely I think that is not a good price. The horse did ran second on his first race on the Gravel Yielding, running 27,400 to finish. Today is a total different kettle of fish, running on the poly. And this horse might win by 6 lengths, and I can land up with egg on my face, which is fine. I can take that. But I'm telling you, as a punter, if I am a punter, I will not take the 5-10 on this horse. The odds is just too low for a horse running the first time on a poly. Yeah, it has had a stable change. Yes, it is with a good trainer, but I've seen horses getting beaten with the same kind of form. Because I always say, when you have a first timer, a horse that runs well on the first time, be careful for the second run. I think earlier in the week we had the same situation where the horse was had a good first run, and then he was also punted short odds, and I think he managed to get a 4th. So in this race, my outsiders, my selection is the number 3 horse, Predator. I did go for it last time out, and with Lyle Hewitson on board, but it got cut and got speedy cuts and everything went wrong. And I'm thinking from draw 3 today, this horse might have a better chance to win today, number 3, Predator. Lyle Hewson certainly riding on the top of his game. So for outsider selections, I'm going for number 6, who's got it all, who was the stable that number 5, Silver Dust, came from. And got it all did run a nice on the poly over 1800 meters, Warren Kennedy, and then last time fluffed his line a little bit, but it had to be eased. And I saw the race, he nearly went over the rails, this horse, got it also. That run best ignored, and I'm thinking 6 got it all can definitely make a bold showing today. Here we have number 7, Purple Dominance. Carl Stradham on board, getting the -1.5. Also ran in that race behind Montana Sky. Was also slow, also shifted out, and I think can be improved in this race. Number 7, Purple Dominance. And always we did discuss number 5. Number 4, Foster Fire, Anton Marcus. Again, this horse, I've followed this horse so many times. I've given up on this horse, but do include for your quartets and trifecta purposes. Then we move on to race number 4, 1700 meters, where we have 6 runners, the one scratching, number 4, Gentleman's Wager. So here we have number 2, Ralph the Rascal, 3-1, Native Tongue, 4-1, Sir Michael, 4-1, Caliente, 4-1, Baby Shoes, 9-2, and Fight Song, 13-2. Now I can tell you in the pick 6, just pop in the field, because this is a small field, but every single horse of this has got a chance to win. My selection is number 1, Native Tongue. Native Tongue beat Celestial Love. Celestial Love has turned out to be quite a useful runner. Was also running in a grade 1 by Sent by Destiny. Also quite a few winners from that race. Shareholder won the other day, ran behind Fight Song, and today again they meet on similar terms. But I think Native Tongue is improving, did beat Shareholder, and Shareholder has won after that. And last time out ran on slow and ran on from behind Big Star. But I do think the poly will suit Native Tongue down to the ground, and I'm thinking this Justin Snape, Richard for recombination, surely is going to go close in this race. Then for the outsider selection, but not really outsider selection, is Fight Song. As I mentioned before, that him and the number 1 horse did meet before, and they're running again on the same weight, but now it's on the poly, which makes it a total different race. So, but I think Fight Song is a horse with some ability not to be left out. Then we're also going to have a look at number 2, which is the favorite Ralph the Rascal. He always finds that one horse to beat him. But with Lyle Hewson on board and the Hollywood Syndicate, hey, they are clocking up the winners like you won't believe. Certainly also a big runner in this field. And you can make a case for each horse. Sir Michael also ran his first race here in Scottsville. A very nice race, going on the poly for the first time. It's King's Barnes. I really like that. The Dean Cannemare and Kiko de Milo connection. What you might do is you'll see in my, if you're a subscriber, you'll see that I have given the guys race 1, number 5, and race 7, number 2. You might even want to pop in an all to come and include number 3, Sir Michael. Maybe take 1 all to come for a win with Sir Michael and 1 where Sir Michael plays, because the other 2 are favorites, and it looks like Dean Cannemare might have a good day today. So then we move on to race number 5, which is a merited 90 handicap over 1,200 meters, and the betting as follows. Here we have number 1, tonight's fight night, 18-10, Goliath Heron, 4-1, Vista Nova, 5-1, Savar, 6-1, Lataba, 8-1, 10-1, Desolate Road, 12-1, Kaysen, 20-2, Odin, and Palace Assembly, 28-1. So here in this race, my first selection is the number 5 horse, Goliath Heron. If you have a look, you'll see that this is a C82. Goliath Heron has run against horses to the caliber of Chantyman, Celtic Voyager in B divisions, A divisions. He hasn't run in a C division for quite a long time. So this horse is down in class. Lyle Hewson on board from draw 5. I think this is extremely useful run today, and maybe he can break that 548 days without a win, because he is coming down slightly in the merit ratings with each run. And I think Goliath here today definitely in with a huge chance. In my outsider selections is number 2, which is so well. Again, Gavin Van Zyl, Warren Kennedy. This horse has also run against useful individuals. His merit rating has dropped from a 90 to a 73. Has also been running in B divisions and hasn't been far behind in C divisions. And I think number 2, so well, a nice little outsider to include into a play. As is number 4, Desolate Road. Desolate Road has also run against some good oppositions, and I do think that he can be involved in the finish. Tony Riverland and Stuart Ramble surely on form, and Desolate Road today, I think, might be a horse that you want to include in the back ends of your quartet and trifecta selections. Then yes, number 1, the favorite tonight's fight night, can also be involved. But I just want to mention, hasn't run against the class of Goliath Heron. And that to me is, I don't say number 1 cannot win. He did manage to win 2 races, his maiden and then a novice. But yeah, has run against a little bit lesser opposition. So I think number 5, Goliath Heron, might have got a beating from him, and they are stable companions. So it might be a nice move to take a few quartets, a few exactas with the 1 and the number 5 horse. Here's number 6, Kaysen. He ran very well, and I followed this horse, but his last 3 runs, he seemed like he lost the plot a little bit. But, never to a horse that you can ignore. So do include in your bigger play, number 6, Kaysen Vista. Here we have number 7, Vista Nova, who did win his maiden, beating Iris Bell. But then after that, didn't run too well, and there is a stable change. I wonder if this owner took his horses away from Gavin Van Zyl to the Justin Snape stable. So watch out for this one. Then we move to race number 6, which is a fillies and mares handicap over 1400 meters, class B, average merit rated 85. And here the betting is as follows. Number 4, Galactic Star 9-2, Cherry Road 5-1, Meter at George 5-1, Flower of Saigon 5-1. Junior Rose 13-2, Blush of Dawn 7-1, Purple Persuasion 7-1, 20-1 Traveling Light, and Longer the rest. Now here in race 6, we have running here class B, merit rated 85. Now my first selection is this number 1 horse, Blush of Dawn. The Blush of Dawn has run against extremely better horses in his last few races, especially this race behind Petra, which was an A Division 94. And I can assure you, Petra is not a slouch. In that race that day, there was quite a strong field of a lot of good runners, and then ran behind Walker Tycoon and Estelle. And I'm thinking Blush of Dawn today, this Noble Tune filly by Manshoot Me is going to run a huge race. You can see here, when they show, sorry, I just want to show you. No, I don't know if you know about this column. It shows you how many runs a horse has had. Now in 2020, this horse has had 8 runs. She won 4 plus 2 seconds and a 4th. So that's 7 out of 8 races. She either won or was placed. And I'm thinking Blush of Dawn surely today, huge value at 6-1. Definitely a nice each way value bet. Then outside of selections, we're going to look at number 3, Sejonia Rose. Also a horse that has run against some decent opposition. Here you can see A Division 92, 87, 89, 94, getting the -1.5, which would put Sejonia Rose squarely in the race. And it's the same trainer as number 1, Garth Puller. You do know that Garth Puller got at the end of the season, got the reward for the best trainer in KwaZulu-Natal. And I'm thinking Sejonia Rose, also a huge possibility, do take the exactas. Then also my other outsider selection, number 10, Traveling Light. Also a horse that has run against some useful runners, Generous Rady, Celtic Sea. The merit rating has come down from 99 to 85. Traveling Light has run well in the poly, 5 rounds, 1 win and a second. And with Lyle Hewitson, I'm sure this is a significant jockey booking and needs to be included in all of your play. Unfortunately, I did not include it into my pick 6 just because of the fact of the factor of the cost. But if you can afford, pop in number 10, traveling right. Then here we have the Cape visitors, you know, and then sometimes these Cape visitors, they just get priced up automatically as favorites. But I've seen over the last few races that they do, you know, that sometimes the KwaZulu-Natal horses can hold their own. Number 4, certainly not a bad horse, a very good horse. 11 runs, 3 wins, certainly nothing wrong with that. Now today, going over the 1400 meters, has run over the 1400 meters, but hasn't won. And Anton Marcus on board, which makes me nervous. I'm sorry to say that, but that's a fact. With Anton Marcus, you never know if he's going to win or lose. He's a very, very good jockey, but I found it very hard to play him. When I don't play him, he wins. When I don't play him, when I do play him, he gets beaten. So yeah, definitely your decision. And then also, there's another horse of Grant Caution in this race, number 9, Flower of Saigon. That's written by Richard Fourie, coming off 107 days. Has run also some decent races in the Cape Town. Now the first time here, also a horse that you need to watch, number 9, Flowers Saigon. I did include this into my pick 6. I went for numbers 1, 3, and 9, purely for the fact that Richard Fourie is riding here for Grant Cotson. He doesn't ride a lot, so that is a significant jockeying booking. And I think number 9, Flowers of Saigon, definitely to be included in all of your play. Then we move on to race number 7, which is a Fillies and Mares 84 handicap over 1900 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 2, Silver Maria, 22 to 10. Emirate Palace, 28 to 10. 9 to 2, Cupid. Sea Venture, 7 to 1. Sliver Narona, 9 to 2. Miss Hotline, 9 to 1. 10 to 1. Ingakara, 22 to 1, and better the rest. So here in my selection, race 7, I did win for the favorite, number 2, Silver Maria. I remember that day that Silver Maria won at 10 to 1. I said in my preview, I think this horse is much better than the form suggests. It's very well bred. El Silvano by Jetmaster Filly. Via Maria has flown a number of winners. And the way that this horse debuted here in Scottsville, running on from behind, keep on dancing, 25.2, second fastest to 400, came from last. And I saw that race, and this horse was coming home hand over fist, but just got run out of real estate. But I'm thinking today, Silver Maria over the 1900 meter on a poly, drawn to, definitely a huge runner for me today, Silver Maria. And I think it's going to be hard to beat, because in that field which he beat so flawless, there was quite a number of useful runners, and that was also a C79, the same categories he's running in today. So Silver Maria for me, a huge runner today. Outside the selections, number 6, Sly Venora, Gavin van Sale Jr., Gareth van Sale, Richard Fourie again. He's having some good rides. And this was also ran on well behind, keep on dancing at the 1400 meters. This horse was still 4th. Certainly, ran on well, Sly Venora. Then number 9 is so I just want to make sure now where I am. Mrs. Hotline. Now, Mrs. Hotline, Anton Marcus on board, has run some decent races, and I think this is a nice outsider to include into your play. Then here's another horse that I really fancy, number 1, Emerald Place. This horse only won his maiden last time out, but he only won the maiden by 14 lengths. And surely that must be a point there. Maybe this horse that had a stable change and came out smoking a pipe on his first run for a new stable. And when a horse wins by 14 lengths, you surely have to take a note of that. So Silver Maria, Emerald Place, I think can be the biggest opposition to number 2, Silver Maria. Yeah, my pick 6, I went for horses 1, 2, and 3. Number 3 is Sea Venture, Lyle Hewitson on board, and he surely always bring 3 or 4 lengths to a horse. There's also a horse that runs there and thereabouts, has also been running against some stronger opposition, and surely a horse that you need to include in all of your play. We then move on to race number 8, which is a medal 74 handicap over 2,000 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 2, Origami, 7 to 2. Secret is Hours, 9 to 2. Mambo, 7 Mambo Symphony 7-1, Long Rain 8-1, Star Crusade 9-1, Commandrel 9-1, Policy Target 10-1, Prospero 12-1, Teichman 12-1, Karadish Cowboy 12-1, and 28-1 along with the rest. So here in this race, I'm going for number 10, which is Karadish Cowboy. Carl Stradham did one with this horse 2 runs back. This horse was beaten by Origami, but that was on the turf. Today they're running on the poly, and I'm thinking that Karadish Cowboy do like the poly. 7 runs, 2 wins, the second, the third, and the fourth. So that means out of 2 or 3 feet, 5 out of 7 times those horses either won or place on the poly. Course and distance, 3 runs, 1 win, and a third. And I'm thinking Carl Stradham is going to shoot to the front and say, guys, catch me if you can. And he's going to try and do this from start to finish as he did before. And on that day, it was number 10, Karadish Cowboy, was my outright winner on the race. Then we have a look at number 1, which is Prospero. And this Jackson gelding by Morzun May. I just got a feeling that this horse is going to run well on the poly again today. Has had 4 runs on the poly for the third, but it's got Liam Kotso on board, drawn 1. This jockey is certainly coming into his own. I see he's now also riding in KwaZulu-Natal. He normally used to ride in Cape Town and PE, and yesterday he had a nice win again in Cape Town. So I'm looking at number 1, a nice outsider to include into your play. Should this horse come in, definitely it's going to enhance the dividend, currently at 12-1. And then my other outsider selection is number 11, which is Coromandrel. Also, Gavin van Zyl Jr., Gavin van Zyl. This horse just won his maiden, and then last time out ran 3 lengths behind 5 on the track. And I'm thinking that the 2,000 meters will actually suit the Silvano by Captain Alme. That certainly, with Craig Jackie on board, I think this is also a huge runner. It will certainly also enhance your dividend at 9-1. And definitely a horse to include. And then another horse you want to look at is number 12, Secret is Ours. This horse is extremely well bred, and yeah, I just noticed something that this is the same owner that some of the horses that has moved to Justin Snave. So I'm not sure what's happening here, but the same owner, Kenton Investments, and I'm thinking Secret Hours, just based on the breeding must be a huge runner in this field. So definitely a horse that you need to include with all your bets. Is currently at 92. Then we want to move down to the last race, the 9th race, the Bright Future merit at 74 handicap, Class D, average merit at 69. And here the betting is as follows. Number 12, Tiger Tank, 92. This has just happened now because when I did my selections, the favorite was number 3, Came Line and Soda. Then double Gemini 6-1, Gavel Strike 6-1, Fire on Track 6-1, Mr. Pigale 8-1, Mystery Boy 10-1, Rock of Me 12-1, and longer the rest. Yes, here my first selection is the number 2 horse, which is Gavel Strike. I did leave this horse last time out, and he ran on strongly, 22.5, fastest 400 to finish on the poly. And I'm thinking today, back with the jockey that knows him the best, Mr. Moodley, and I'm thinking today Gavel Strike, really a huge runner. His horse always come from behind and has had some bad draws, 11 out of 11, 10 out of 15, 10 out of 12, 13 out of 14. And I'm thinking today with this number 2 draw, this horse can go and sit 3-4 lengths off them. When they came around the bend, hit the straight, Mr. Moodley can go. And I think this horse has got the ability to run them all down. In my outsider selection is number 7, Fire on Track. Last time I did this horse won. I gave it as my outright selection, was backing from 10-1 to 17-4. Luke Ferraris on board today, front row 7, not too bad. And I'm thinking this horse can give a good account of himself. That race was over 1,800 meters, and I'm sure he can run on. He did. There is a turnaround in weight with number 12, Tiger Tank, which is also one of my selections. And I do feel Tiger Tank also in with a chance. My outsider selection as well is number 3, Cane Line and Soda, coming from Cape Town. First time on the poly, used to be with Warren Marshall, now I've gone golf cooler, Mr. Bloomberg, we all know him. And yeah, he's running against some useful opposition. His medal rate has come down from 100 to a 72, certainly in with a chance. But there's other horses also with chances in this race. Um, and definitely not an easy race to close off today. Here's number 12, Tiger Tank. And as I said, I think Tiger Tank also a huge runner today. So that brings us to the end of my preview for today. I hope I could point you in the right directions for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.